Morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. I'm Amy Steinberg. I'm so happy to be with you this morning. And I'm going to be singing for you to open us up a song of mine called Lead Me Love. Lead me, love. Lead me on. When I'm weary, make me strong. Lead me, love, help me grow. Lead me, love, lead me home. Sing it with me, lead me, love. Lead me, love, lead me on. Lead me on when I'm weary. When I'm weary, make me strong. Make me strong. Lead me, love. Lead me, love. Help me grow. Help me grow. Lead me, love. Lead me, love. Lead me home. Lead me home. Let's do it once more. Lead me, love. Lead me, love, lead me on. Lead me on. I am ready. I am ready. I am strong. I am strong. Lead me, love. Watch me grow. Watch me grow. Lead me, love. Lead me, love. I am home. I am home. I am home.
How lovely and beautiful. That's a great chant to begin our day, right? To begin our time together. And I know that it has great personal meaning for you right now. The chant itself of Lead Me On, and we'll talk later in the service of what you're going through in your life, but how that, the piece of that, when you say Lead Me On with love, I get what that means, and then I am whole. Just this week with a counseling client, we were going through an exercise, which I shared with you earlier we might do in the service later. And in it, the words came up of oneness and wholeness. And she was asking me, what's the difference? And it threw me because we kind of use them interchangeably. And so I looked them up through the science of mind. And oneness means the power of the divine, which we call God in this teaching as well. And wholeness is our mental awareness and connection to that. So, right, I know. It's like, so when we hear the word wholeness, it means that we are deeply connected through our mind to that which is. So I'm affirming for you today that that is the case for you as well as each one of us as we navigate this service today. I'm connecting to the one through our mental awareness and letting it reveal through itself as each one of us exactly what is being called forth. So wonderful. So I'll see you in just a bit, as you just went blank there. So, but that's the nature, right? That is the nature. So there you are. But anyway, so I'll see you in just a bit. Thank you, Amy. So just a good morning to everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be with you today. And good morning to you, if it's morning wherever you may be. And if it's not in the chronological time frame or the calendar or the clock morning, let's all choose to believe that whether we're watching live through Zoom and or YouTube, or knowing that we're in different time zones on our planet called Earth, and you may be watching this at a later date they're recording, that we choose to let this time spent together be morning, in the sense that the sun is rising and providing through us a sense of light, where just as earlier in this block of time there was darkness. And so I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and I welcome you. And I'm happy that you're with us today on this day, the 3rd of August in the year 2025, as we come together as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And we share what is known as our Sunday celebration service via technology format. So welcome to our virtual home. I invite you to sit back and relax if that's comfortable and safe for you, and to just lean into what is being expressed and revealed as we kick off this new month, where our theme for the month is Vitality is My Reality. I'm going to put on the screen our opening slide, and we'll go from there. And so we are the Center for we are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We open each Sunday morning with an act of namaste, and you'll see once we get into our ritual this morning that this word namaste even holds some different meaning than what we've used it as before. In the two most common manners by which we use it in this community, one is namaste, the traditional modern approach, which is the God in me, the source in me, the light in me honors and acknowledges that in you as we bow forward, a physical act. As I've said many times before, the Sanskrit meaning, the original translation of the word, means I bow to thee. Today I invite you to connect to each of those, or either both of those, if you would like to tap into the divine energy that is you, and honor that in each other as we open ourselves up with our hands, arms outstretched, taking a deep breath in, bringing in the vitality of life itself. And as we exhale, pull our hands together in prayer position, closing our eyes, exhaling, and saying together, Namaste. I bow to thee. And so as a community, we have come together for 35 plus years now to practice the teachings primarily of the science of mind as a compilation of all the great philosophies of the world and the spiritual philosophies that was pulled together and kind of expressed through Ernest Holmes, and published in a book called The Science of Mind. At its very core and foundational concepts, the science of mind focuses on oneness, as I spoke of earlier with Amy. Oneness meaning that there's only one energy that is existing in, as, and through all of life. It's existing as you and as me, and we both experience it and express it, process it, and be it through our mind. Mind is the continual component of life itself here. And what that means for you and I as we express and experience being the stamp of individuality of life is that through our thoughts and beliefs and actions and reactions and interactions in life, we develop a state of awareness, our individualized mind, and we experience that in form in life, the experiences of our life. That is because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law. Ernest Holmes says that it responds, this law of life responds to us by corresponding. In other words, by providing experiences in life that are reflective of our thoughts and the totality of our consciousness aligned with consciousness itself. It's a lot to take in. What that really means for all of us is to be attentive to the way that we engage with life itself. Be attentive as to how we use our mind, and to enliven the vision statement of our community to the best of our ability for ourselves and each other. Our vision statement, once again, is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And so today I invite you to open up to a spiritual awakening, inviting it in without any attachment as to how it shows up or any divisive means by which you want it to be expressed through you, and be open to the spontaneity of what it may be. Yes, it did just show up as piano music. And that's because we're moving into our morning ritual called Calling in the Light. Amy and I were connecting earlier this morning, both talking about how a little bit we feel like we're off our game through individual experiences she's had, and for me, I feel like it's just exhaustion. And yet at the same time, I'm calling in my game. My game can be what it is. So If you hear me get a little flustered this morning, or things feel or seem a little out of whack, they're not. There's just life itself. As a community, we welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all genders, all abilities. We stand with you and want you to know that just as you are, no matter where you're at on your journey of finding personal self-empowerment for a spiritual awakening, we welcome one and we welcome all, celebrating you just as you are. And so moving into our morning ritual, I love this image on the screen, created by a mentor and peer of mine, Bob Luckin. It was in honor of the Ukrainian war when it began. Let's just look back on the journey of that and connect to the oneness of life as we look at the flickering flame of the candle and watch it multiply and let that be representative to each of us as the one light being expressed individually by means of all individuals of life. And hear these words anew, calling in the light. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life. I'm going to repeat that as an affirmation. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering, for each of us individually and us collectively, both a remembrance of the act of namaste just a moment ago, and let that be an engagement into a more conscious awareness of our oneness. Remembering that it's through the acknowledgement of our wholeness that we engage in oneness, and also to remember and acknowledge the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. Looking at the flickering flame and connecting to it symbolically as the energy of life that is within each of us, we move into the next phase of our ritual. Our theme for the month is Vitality is Happening Through Me. I can tell you personally this week, I've had moments of wanting to define how that vitality should be. And in the moment of experiencing it, I realize it's just opening up to let it be what it is. I came across this graphic this week and wanted to use it in our prayer ritual right now. And I love that each of these individuals on the screen, appearing to be male, but all dressed in robes, giving a moment of ancestral imagery. Achilles Dicus writes, "No one is so awake that they don't need to do some work on themselves." Ain't that the truth? Thank you, Achilles. Let's piece together our world. P-E-A-C-E. Let's hear this again. No one is so awake that they don't need to do some work on themselves. And so Achilles then wrote these next words as an affirmation, and I invite each of us to hear it today in a new way as we invite in vitality. And it references back to the act of namaste earlier. I say namaste because I like what it means, not because I'm Hindu. A lot of people believe I'm Christian because they think I talk about Christian values. The truth is I talk about human values. I've been asked if I'm a Buddhist because I have discovered inner peace. Many of my friends are pagans and they think I'm one too because I say that being in nature is like going to church. Do you want to know who I really am? It's very simple. I don't need a label to define me. I'm a piece of the universe, sentient and manifested. I am awake. Achilles said, let's piece, P-E-A-C, together the world. I'm going to recite the lyrics to Let There Be Peace on Earth before we go into our song, Holy Light. And I consciously chose that today as our affirmative prayer to let it be a catalyst for each of us as we piece together the world using the language of Achilles from earlier. Yes, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I affirm, let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united, all are we. And so let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. And let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. My solemn vow to take each moment, to live each moment in peace eternally. And let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Amy's going to come on and take us through the song.
With God.
And so it is.
It is.
Amy, I love your new hair.
Thank you, darling.
It's
Some
fabulous.
people think it's a wig.
I just watched an interview with Tyra Banks and somebody about wigs yesterday, and about how so many more people wear them than people are aware of. So, yeah,
Yes.
it's giving very Barbara Streisand in A
Thank
Star Is
you.
Born.
Thank you. I love it.
Yeah. So, how was your journey to New York City and the kickoff of your new show,
Oh my God.
Ministar?
Keith, it was just spectacular. I mean, it's sold out in this
Good.
venue. It's little
Stay
little
close to your microphone.
It's sold out in this venue called Don't Tell Mama. It's just a little cabaret
I
room.
know that. I know of
Yeah,
it.
it's
Never. Yeah.
midtown. It's legendary, right? And then I did it again here in Asheville to a full house here in a venue here. And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to New York. So you have another chance to come to New York and see it there in November. So and then in December I am going to come out west. Right now I have San Diego, but it's possible I'll be in LA too. And it's just been great. I mean,
Why don't you plan on coming to LA?
I would love that. I just have to find the right venue. Basically need a small theater, venue.
Anything like where we do church on Sundays? Could that work maybe?
Possibly, very possibly. So I'll reach out to you and we can
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I hate to say this, but a lot of the stuff about me not traveling for too long had to do with my dog. And we talked about my dog passing suddenly. And so now
Tiki,
it's sort of like my knee jerk reaction is to say, well, I can't be gone that long because of my dog. So now it's like my whole reality scrambled right
because
now.
of I don't know if you know this, but I refer to mine as my four-legged spiritual offspring.
Oh,
So,
exactly it. It's really
yeah.
exactly. Yes.
And so Tiki, right?
Tiki.
Tiki passed away this week, like three
Yes.
days ago, right?
Yes. Just
Well,
checked out. Just said bye, mom. Didn't suffer. Didn't nothing. Just said goodbye. And I was in complete shock. I still am, and I've been pretty much crying for 3 days straight. I'm laughing right now because I'm just, grief is weird. It comes in waves.
what comes in waves, and it's also what I learned years ago, both experientially and helping others and someone helping me, is to realize it's also not linear, right? So we look, let's just say there's the five stages, right? You look at them, you think you go through one and then you close that door, you another. That's not that at all. You
Mm.
experience, sometimes you experience all five of them at one time, right? And then there's none. And so it's not a linear journey. And within it not being a linear journey, there are also layers to it. And so, not that you're doing this, but I want to affirm for you to make sure that life is life, and when you lose something, that some energy that you love, and I don't even like to use the word lose, but when they transition and take on a different dimension, then that loss is real. It's real.
Yeah.
And so allow yourself to ride the waves of grief and honor. And that's the only way to really honor Tiki, is by to um, give credence to the life that you shared.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Tiki's right over, as I jokingly say, Sadie's always, she's right over my left shoulder. I mean, she literally is right over
Yeah.
my left shoulder. But that's the same with Tiki. Just invite him in.
Oh, my
So
little
as
angel.
you, yeah,
Yeah.
you sing and share, and Tiki will guide you. Tiki is guiding you.
Yeah. Thanks, Keith.
And all that's here on the service with us today, we've all experienced that. So we know the journey. I saw a long-time friend that I haven't seen in a long time. There had been we had, that we had just not seen each other. We'll leave it with that. Is now in Los Angeles, going through some health challenges. And when I ran into her a couple of days ago, she has a different dog than when I last saw her, and I have a different dog. And she
Mm.
was like, but she said, "Is that the same dog?" I'm like, "No, the previous one passed." And this friend of mine, she's had dogs all. I've known her for 35 years and always had more than one dog. And she goes, "That's what they do. they pass on." So
Yeah, and now the challenge is what we spoke about before is just not running out and buying another one immediately.
right.
Taking a moment to, like you say, kind of honoring the grief and allowing the feelings. And something I just want to reference, you said something earlier about, the vitality. That vitality doesn't necessarily mean feeling good. And
Oh
I just
yeah.
wanted to share something that I just saw a video of a scientist where they've been studying vibration, and they studied, that joy and peace is the highest vibration, but then they noticed something. They noticed that there were these blips, and so they went back and they figured out that, what the highest vibration is? Authenticity.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So authentic sadness, right? It is such is a very high vibe to just feel that.
Well, when you say that, what comes up for me is, Holmes says that love is the self-givingness of spirit,
Mm.
right? Giving of itself, and I'm going to paraphrase this, but giving of love is a self-giving spirit whose desire is to create more of itself, and the only way it can do that is out of itself, meaning you and me and Tiki and
Mm.
Sadie, right? So the energy's there, and it's always there, and its essence is pure love,
Mm.
right? But it needs a place to express it, a place, meaning, right? An energy, a field by which to express itself,
Mm.
right? So you are that field, I am that field, Tiki is that field, right? And we know we can look at Tiki or Sweeney right now. She's frustrated with me because normally on Sunday she's at Auntie Rogers. She's here today and she wants me to play with her, right? Because I get this look like, hey, you should play with me. But I'm playing with you all right now, so I'm not playing with her, right? So so that sentient nature has feelings that are affirming and also feeling like it's restricting, right? But it's really just the energy of it doing its thing. We don't. It doesn't label itself good or bad. We label it good or bad.
Mm.
Vitality. What we're talking about
Right.
today. And the first quote I have here, "Vitality, a way of life," says, the supreme good of life is vitality, and vitality is always seeping away." And what I
Mm.
think that means is that it's seeping away because of our awareness of it. We have to constantly be fine tuning our awareness, which is
Mm.
what I liked about that Achilles quote earlier. Like no one's got it. Basically, what Achilles is saying is no one's got their shit together so much that they don't have to work on it. That's what Achilles is saying, right?
Right.
Do you feel like singing a song?
Sure, I'd love to. In fact, when you said the topic of vitality, it made me think of my song Purpose, which is just about living, being alive and being alive fully. And the hook is that living is the purpose of life. So when that hook comes along, I'll give it to you guys and you can sing it along with me. I've been through the desert, I've walked in the ocean, climbed up a mountain, and I've sang in the wind. I've cried out in the moonlight, and I've drank that potion. I've wished in the fountain, and I've lived in sin. I keep searching for an answer to make me complete. But every time I think that I found it, the ground shifts under my feet. What I know is every moment is a blessing, and every love is like a light, and beauty comes with every sunrise. And living is the purpose, living is the purpose, living is the purpose. That's your part. Sing it with me. We go. Living is the purpose, living is the purpose, living is the purpose of life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa. I talked to the goddess, lie in the night. I've danced with the devil and I've screamed at the storm. I've held hands with the holy and I've touched the divine. I've plucked every petal and again I've been born. I keep searching for an answer to make me complete. But every time I think that I found it, the ground shifts under my feet. What I know is every moment is a blessing, and every love is like a light, and beauty comes with every sunrise. And living is the purpose, living is the purpose, living is the purpose. That's your part. Sing it with me. Come on. Living is the purpose, living is the purpose, living is the purpose of life. Whoa, yeah. Oh, so I be who you are, be who you are. You got to be who you are, 'cause you are a superstar. That's right, I said I be who you are, be who you are. You got to be who you are, 'cause living is the purpose of life. And every kiss is a wonder, and every heart is like a shooting star. And you are perfect in this moment. So live out loud, and 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 just be who you are. Yeah. Oh, I said living is the purpose. Living is the purpose. Living is the purpose. purpose of life. Act alive. Living is the purpose. Oh, living is the purpose. Living is the purpose of life.
It is, and so fantastic. That really does speak to the theme for today.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm going to dive in, and then if you feel compelled to come back on and sing a song, come on, all right? Or if there's anything you want to add to anything I'm talking about, pop in when you're ready. So, our theme for the month is Vitality is Happening Through Me. And as Amy and I were just talking about, I'll speak specifically for myself over the last week and really the last few days, where I just felt exhausted and just processing that and really struggled personally as to get prepared for today and to think, like, what am I going to talk about and how am I going to, like, anyway, and realizing that how real that is, not only for me, but I know that's the same for all of us in life at times. And what is it that we're being called to do in those moments? And what I believe we're being called to do, or the awakening that I came to, is just as Amy was singing about, is just live life. Just let it be what it is and feel it and connect to it, that force of life itself. And then, as I so often teach and preach, if you will, is to let it guide me as to what is going on. So in so many ways, then the theme for the month, Vitality is Happening Through Me, is not happening by mistake. It's happening because it's a divine calling, if you will, having great meaning to each of us individually. And for me personally, it's a reminder of the multidimensionality of life. The definition of vitality is twofold. One is it's the state of being strong and active energy. But that strong part doesn't always work. And that's kind of part of it right now for me. Like, I don't want to be strong. I also don't want to be weak. I just want to be, right? But the other facet of that definition that I like is the power-giving continuance of life, presence in all living things. It is really that presence that we teach and practice and talk about here in this philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. That energy, that presence, if you will, that I just spoke of, that's within both our memory bank and our expression of life and the force of life itself, is just that. It is just an energy, and it's the same energy. Whether I'm going to speak we, but I say that I'm speaking of me in the moment, is one of exhaustion or exhilaration, right? The energy is still just the same. It's the willingness to tap into it and feel it that then allows it to my awareness of it to be more present. You know, I just tuned in this very moment to a new vibration of our vision statement of the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. By playing on that, it's, where am I feeling power in this moment? Well, it's in the willingness to surrender to the life, the presence of life, that which is the vitality, the vital, and the complexities that exist within that oneness, or the multidimensionality of it, both in expression form and also feeling form. And then knowing that as I surrender to it, then it literally feels stronger in my being. So I think of that song, I Surrender All, right? It's just like, okay, well, what the hell? Let go. Like, literally let go, let God. Ricky Byers Beckwith's song, I release and I let go, and I let spirit run my life. I'll speak for myself over the years. I've now sung that song for 30-something years. It's really easy to intellectualize that lyric. But the lyrics are really speaking about a more speaking of a transcendent nature as well, of tapping into the spirit itself, right? Which then gives me the opportunity to look at the Einstein quote that we've used many times in last week, and I think will be probably a theme for this month, or a sub-theme with the theme of vitality is happening through me. And the quote is this: everything is energy. Your thought begins it. And I believe this is Einstein, I may be wrong. Your thought begins it, and actually it doesn't matter. So I'm going to start it again and stop the editorializing, even though it's part of it too. Everything is energy. Your thought begins it. Your emotion amplifies it, that emotion I was just feeling of the willingness of surrender. And your action increases the momentum. What action would that be in that moment? It's trust. It's the action of trusting what it is. You know, life shows up, man. Life shows up. It's always showing up. And the key is to let it show up. Well, we have a choice. Just letting ourselves tune into it as it shows up. And then being willing to lean into what Marianne Williamson calls our faith musculature to carry us through it, whatever it may be, whether it's the passing of a beloved, either, no matter what form that may be, but knowing, let's use Tiki as an example, that was a sentient being that has, and when I say that was, I mean in the context of on this earthly plane. And that energy, as it was known to be, is no longer. Right? Doesn't mean the energy doesn't take a different form, but if everything is energy, then what thought can one tune into that? Well, it really goes back to, and I know it sounds like I harp on this every Sunday, but I think it's so critical to not just analyze this part of our teaching, but to enliven it, to engage in it, to question it, and then to let it mean something new and different. This quote popped up in one of my feeds of quotes in both looking for new thought texts for the day and also just in the journey that I'm on, by Charles Swindoll from sagegoddess.com. I love that. I didn't even notice that till just now. But listen to this quote. We're all faced with a series of great opportunities, brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. Now that seems really airy-fairy, right? And I'm not thinking A-I-R-Y, F-A-I-R-Y, even though that's true. But what really I saw in my mind when I thought airy-fairy was A-I-R-I-E, F-A-I-R-E or I-E. Woo-woo. Yet, what the hell's wrong with woo-woo, right? It's all about perspective. Your thought amplifies it. Your emotion adds to it. But where in our lives, individually and collectively, may we be faced with what might seem like an impossible situation? I can tell you, yesterday afternoon, thinking about doing this service today felt like that for me. And I'm being very transparent with you about this. I was like, really? Can I do this one more time? Not that I don't want to do it the rest of my life, but it was like, really? I like tomorrow? Like, really? But what Charles R. Swindoll, let's call Charles the airy fairy, is saying to us in this quote is that in these situations, whether they seem impossible or just challenging, what we're being presented with in this moment is an opportunity. An opportunity to do what? To tap into a new perspective, to change our thinking, to change our life, to open up to be the channel, for lack of a better term, but or not, maybe even just the right term, a channel for the energy of life itself, the vitality itself, to move through us. Yes, I'm speaking of that through our physicality, yes, to energize us more, but even more so through our awareness, our field of awareness, because that's where everything is both processed, expressed, experienced in life. And it's from there that we can begin anew. It's from there that we can say good morning, or good morning, or cock-a-doodle-doo, meaning changing that energy so that we can tune into the innateness of spirit that is within us, which of course the qualities within those are peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. But not to look at that as just some mantra, right, or some chant, but as an opening through the field of awareness for the energies, the frequencies of those qualities to be made new through us in a different way. Holmes says that since we all must begin right where we are, most of us will be compelled to begin our healing work with a mechanical process. What I'm saying is stop the insanity in regards to the mechanical process. Let it be something beyond mechanical. I started saying beyond magical. Let it be magical, beyond mechanical. It's from there we will engage in it in any way. He goes on to write, we should take the highest thought we have and attempt to enlarge on this consciousness until it embraces a more vital, there's the word vital there, concept of reality. Consciousness in this sense means an inner embodiment of ideas. Yes, that inner embodiment can mean I am peace, I am beauty, I am joy, I am light, I am love, I am wisdom. But it also can be I see peace, I feel joy, I acknowledge wisdom, right? It goes on and on and on. In other words, it's that non-mechanical nature of it, of feeling it, right? Tapping yourself, reading something new and different, listening to something new and different. And it's through that that the internality changes in its nature and essence. Therefore, the external must also change because we live in a universe governed by spiritual law. He goes on to say, if one wishes to demonstrate prosperity, they must first have a consciousness of prosperity, health, the same, etc. Let's play with that. If one wishes to demonstrate vitality, they must first have a consciousness of the force of life. How do you have a consciousness of the force of life? Well, I think it's twofold. One is you remember that it's never failed you, so it never will. And the other is to tune into it. How do we do that? Through our breath. As I've said last, look in the mirror in the camera and smile. You can't help but know there's joy there, even if you don't feel like smiling. Or even frown and wonder what the hell you look like when you frown. But all of that is a reflection of participating in the spontaneity of the nature of the life principle that's within us. Holmes goes on to say, this is more than faith. It's the knowledge that we're dealing with law. Now hear that again. It's more than faith. It's the knowledge. It's really the wisdom that we have, that we're dealing with law. And in other words, that what we know ourselves to be shall take form if we're willing to be open to that. He goes on to write, with a certain consciousness, while a certain consciousness may be mechanically induced, of course, the more spontaneity put into the mechanical word, the more power the word must have. So what we're really calling forth through us is a spiritual awakening without being attached to it. This week, I often thought of the term, what is a spiritual awakening? Spiritual awakening is to remember that who and what you are and always have been is the infinite, immortal sea of consciousness. Now, why do I say I thought of that? Because I'm thinking, wow, the sea of consciousness, right? If the sea of consciousness is a sea or a body of water and it's all everywhere infinite, sitting like, wow, how must that be changing when that earthquake happened in Russia and then that tsunami warning came across? And the power that is held within the waves, the molecular structure. And I'm sure for many individuals, there were some spiritual awakenings happening when they thought a tsunami was coming towards them. Where in our lives are we experiencing the tsunami warning? A metaphor, obviously, yes. And in those moments, what do we choose to know to be? Is it a mechanical response? Nothing wrong with that, unless that mechanical response prevents one from tuning into the spontaneity of life itself. It's about trusting the journey, right? Amy's back. What you got? What you got going on there, sister?
I just can't help but just chime.
Yeah. Well, you muted again. Unmute yourself.
When you were speaking about the tidal wave, I couldn't help but think about what we talked about, which was grief and the
Mm-hmm.
waves of the waves and the experiencing all the different things at once. And
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like, I just wanted to presence the awareness of that, which,
Yeah.
and I love what you said. I just want to echo it so you hear it again if you heard it, was that it's not just I am peace, but it's I see peace, I experience peace, I feel peace. Like I just love the awakening of it as beyond idea and into an experiential that
Yes.
connects so strongly to feeling. I just love that. I just
Oh, good.
think that's a cool
Because
awareness.
so often I believe I'll speak to 20th century metaphysics. It was like everything, and not that this isn't still true, everything begins and ends in mind, right? Yes. But that mind isn't about putting it out there and hoping that it responds. It's about being a participant in the
Right,
state of
right.
mind that you desire to experience, right? Our new thought text for the day that went out this morning at 7:30 a.m., much like a tsunami and tidal wave of awakened consciousness it is, right, was a quote from the great Dr. Johnny Coleman, a renowned 20th century metaphysician, female. And the quote is this: act the way you want to be, and soon you will be the way you act.
Do you know what that reminds me of? I have to tell you a personal story that happened that you will all appreciate. But I had an experience several years ago. Now this is like at least 10 years ago, and I was at the Posy Music Awards, and I was
Uh-huh.
surrounded by all the greats of the New Thought, and Karen Drucker was backstage. And at that time, I didn't know her at all. She was just sort of like an idol. I'll say that. And
Mm-hmm.
I had been nominated for 2 songs, which was a lot because there's only like 5 songs that are nominated total, like categories. So I was nominated in 2 categories, and I was just overwhelmed with the attention and the love and everything. And I was backstage, and I said to Karen, I said, what do I do? What am I supposed to do with all this music? And how am I supposed to survive off this music? And I had a new thought. And I was like kind of hysterical. And she grabbed me and she said, I can't wait till who you are up there matches who you are back here. And it wasn't an insult. I didn't take it that way. What I took it is that just what she was saying to me was exactly what you're saying now, which is what Johnny Coleman was saying. Act as if, keep practicing. A lot of times they say, the ministers are preaching for themselves. They're saying what they need. You teach what you need to learn most, or you sing. A lot of my songs, I mean, have been written during heartbreak, and there have been so many moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I am the same person now. And I reflect back on that wisdom that she said to me that day.
It's interesting as you share that story. It's a very similar story to what I shared when I had I just went blank on her name. Who did I just have on my conversations recently? Etika Luckett and her partner
Lisa Ferraro.
Lisa Ferraro, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling her the story of how that had happened for me when I was up on the podium at the old church, and I came on like I was doing a spiritual one-on-one conversation. David Walker grabbed me by the shoulders and said to me, he came back and met me and said to me, "Do you know what just happened to you?" Because it was a transcendent moment. He goes, "Do you know what happened to you out there?" He goes, "Are you aware that something happened out there?" I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "Do you know what it is?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Well, I'm going to know it for you till you know it for yourself, because I know what happened." Right? It's the same concept, right?
Yes.
But it's the willingness to be open to all of it. That's the key. That I think the key to today. It's like no matter what the journey you're on, be open to it and know that there is a higher idea waiting to make itself known through you. But you got to participate in it, and it's also not getting attached to what that higher idea is. You know,
Yes.
and also knowing that along the way, life's going to show up in ways that is different than you thought it was going to be. Just like the passing of Tiki, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's like a tsunami, right?
Oh
I
my God.
shared with you part of what's got me a little off. When I say off kilter, I'm not saying that negatively judging myself, but a longtime mentor of mine passed away sort of unexpected, like not unexpectedly, right? And it took me a few days to really process that. There was another event that went down in my life. And those two things I realized, I'm sorry, I just realized what it was that was this other catalyst to it. That I don't want to share in the moment. But now it all makes sense as to why that took me off on that energy field yesterday. But it is the acknowledgement of these moments in life, when life as we know it changes and ends. That doesn't mean it's bad. Those are just facts, right? The key, and we're human beings, so we get to have the opportunity to experience our emotions as human beings, right? And then grow from there, if we choose to grow. And it's not about choosing to grow out of arrogance, it's choosing to grow out of surrender and leaning into our faith musculature.
Yeah. And
My dear friend, I have to say this because she's coming through me right now, that passed away recently at 95. She was one of the first people that really introduced me to metaphysics in a broad way. And she was this grand southern woman named Molly Bonds. And she used to drive this big yellow Cadillac, and she would say, "Baby, it's time for us to have a Miller Lite." She wanted to drink a beer. But she would get in the car. She was a realtor. That's how I met her. She'd get in the car and put her hands on the steering wheel of this big yellow Cadillac Seville and look at me and say, "We're calling in the white light and the Indians to guide us on our journey today."
basically the ancestors, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but think about that. Like, we're calling in the white light and the Indians to guide us on our journey today. Now that has so many meanings, right? But
Mhm.
what I cherish most was that A, that was who she was, and B, she was sharing that with me, and C,
Mhm.
she believed it too. Like, she believed, like,
Yes.
if we're gonna get out on the highway in this big old Cadillac Seville, we need some guidance, and we bring that in by the white light and Indians, right?
Molly. I just love the spirit of Molly right now. I could feel it.
Marjorie. Her real name was
Oh, Marjorie.
Marjorie Wheeler Barnes.
Oh, she sounds fabulous.
So the next little quote that popped up that I think is so
Here,
fun
I'll
that we
go
should.
away. I'll go
No, no,
away.
no,
Okay.
stay.
Okay.
Was this: when life gives you lemonades, make lemons. Life will be like, "Oh, what?" Right? But that says so much, right? It's like just keep being there. The next quote that I think we should listen to today is, because I think it's critical for all of us. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not.
Mm. Hmm.
It's not who you are that holds you back.
Hmm.
It's who you think you are not. And for all of us, I think what's important for us to remember is that we don't have to define what it is that we think we are not. But our role is to be willing to be open to let spirit take that away, right? To let it dissolve and
Hmm.
dispose of. That's why I loved this piece that we opened with today about no one is so awake that they don't need to do some work on themselves, right?
Hmm.
And then it goes on to say, I loved this thing. I say namaste because I like what it means, not because I'm Hindu. A lot of people believe I'm Christian because they think I talk about Christian values. The truth is, I talk about human values. I've been asked if I'm a Buddhist because I've discovered inner peace. Many of my friends are pagans and they think that I'm one too because I say that being in nature is like going to church. Do you want to know who I really am? It's very simple. I don't need a label to define me. I am a piece of the universe,
Hmm.
sentient and manifested. I'm awake. Sentient means having the ability to feel emotions. That's what it means. It means awake and having the ability to
Hmm.
feel emotions.
Hmm.
Just as the journey you and I have been on and we're on right now is allow ourselves to feel them, right? That is then what becomes manifested and awake. Okay,
Well, I don't mean to get astrological, but I am a double Cancer. So
go baby.
we are the water sign, the feelers of the zodiac. As I've been wailing, wailing and moaning this grief, I say to myself, and I've talked to people that are close to me and said, the good news is I will not be suppressing any of this. It will move through me very quickly. And in a few days, I've already talked to my partner. She's sitting there over there looking at me going, no, we cannot go to the breeder that is up the road. And, because that's how I roll is like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm here to give love. That's what I do. And I don't have any, human children, and dog children have always been what feels like you said, four-legged
Spiritual
Berkshire.
offspring.
Spiritual offspring. Right. So, but I know it's not time yet, but still, I know that call, because I'm feeling it. I'm not, because I'm not to suppress it, but because I'm feeling it. I'm getting the grief out so big and real and full,
So the key to that, if I may, is let go of time in regards to
when or
giving
how.
giving birth to your next four-legged spiritual offspring. And what a great opportunity to play in the field of experimentation
Yes.
as to when spirit as Tiki will let you know the next one is there.
Well, I have to say too, because you asked about New York, that on the last day that I was in the city, I was weeping because I didn't want to leave. So, part of me is like, okay, one less animal to, if I wanted to relocate to New York City, which I know is insane, but still dreams are there for a reason, right? Like dreams.
Well, dreams are there to be manifested. That's the reason.
So that's my dream, is to be in that city again. So sometimes I wonder about Tiki saying, take a break from dogs, for a minute.
Also, Tiki may have said, "Let me go to New York and prepare the way."
Oh, seriously.
Seriously.
Yes. Anything's
Well, this has
possible.
been fun. I knew it would be.
Always is with you. I love being with you.
Yeah.
You're
So,
wonderful.
what song do you have for us now?
Well, I wrote this show, and I think I did one from it last time, didn't I? Well,
Do it again.
I'm gonna do a new song. Did I do Mirror on the Door, or did I do Room of Possibility? We don't
Do
know.
what speaks to you, baby.
Okay. I think I'm gonna do this song called Mirror on the Door, which is basically the inspiration of the show that I wrote that I brought to New York, which is called Ministar, is inspired by a dollhouse, which is the idea of your consciousness being like a dollhouse, like a home, the home of your soul, if you will. So imagine that as we hear this tune. There's a mirror on the door to a place where you can go. There's a mirror on the door to you. Take a step inside. You might be surprised at what you find. Take a step inside to you. You'll find the stories and the fantasies. You'll find the brokenness of old and golden dreams. You'll find some sweetness and some inner peace. And you will remember what you believe. You believe that love can heal and dreams come true. And you believe in me as much as I believe in you. So dream your dreams until they come true, and then dream something new. I believe in you. The rooms inside your soul, all the stories that you've told, the rooms inside your soul are true. And every part is whole, it perfectly unfolds. Yeah, every part of you is whole. You'll find the madness and the memories. You'll find the endless stream of infinite possibility. You'll find who you used to be. You'll find me. And And you'll remember what you believe. You believe that love can heal and dreams come true. You believe in me as much as I believe in you. So dream your dreams until they come true, and then dream something new. Go ahead and dream something new. I believe in you. I believe. I believe, I believe, I believe. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe. Oh, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe. There's a mirror on the door.
I love that. You
Thank
had not done that before.
you.
It takes me back, we're all on a journey, and it takes me back, and I've shared this before, where I feel so fortunate and blessed to have been able to take one of the last seminars that Dr. Raymond Charles Barker gave. And he was a student of Ernest Holmes and the teacher of Kennedy Schultz.
I
And
love
it
him.
was in Atlanta in like 1984-ish, 85-ish, something like that. And at the end of the seminar, he told us all, like, you have to go home. I want you to go home and stand in the bathroom in front of your mirror and look in the mirror and get as close as you can and say to yourself, I am God. I am light. Do your spiritual mind treatments aloud in the mirror, and do that tonight. And tomorrow when we come back together, I'm going to check in on you, and send us all out, right? I remember thinking, what? But it was one of those pivotal moments of changing life. It's like that life changed in that moment for me. Because then I went home and did it.
I love that. I'm
Instead
gonna
of
go do
being,
that tonight.
yes, the opening to this. That's what we were speaking of today, about opening to doing things differently than it being mechanical. And
Yes.
so, well, thank you so much for being here. As
Love
always,
you.
just fabulous. And I know you've had a full day. It's coming up on 3 o'clock there in the
Yeah.
land of North Carolina, and you're going to drive home. Are you guys driving back
Yes.
today?
Driving home, and then you would not believe it, but I'm with CSL. I'm sorry, Unity of San Jose with David D tonight, which is just I
Fantastic.
get
Well,
3 helpings, and I know that spirit also healing my heart as I remember the truth that energy is eternal, that her spirit lives on, and I just know she's transitioned. We'll just call it that.
yeah,
I love that we use that word here. So
yeah, I agree. Well, I oftentimes reference you're referencing me, or
yeah,
referencing to me, when Etika died. You're talking about how someone had helped you learn that and this, I'm going to paraphrase, this is the way I understood you saying it, was if we are birthed through a channel
yes,
into this life form, and we're mental beings, doesn't it make sense that's what happens into the next life form, right?
yes,
And so you shared with me, like, just envision her going through the birth canal to the next,
yes,
right? And that has, I
yes.
not only have used that in counseling, but it makes sense. That makes sense to me,
It
right?
does. It does because we don't remember before this. So why would we know,
Yeah,
have any
yeah,
clue? Yeah.
perfect.
All
All
right.
right,
Love you.
thank you. Peace and
Do you want
blessings
me
to
to do a
you.
closing song
No,
or?
you're good. You're good. You can
Okay.
leave. You can hit the road. Bye. You and your loved one travel safely. Okay.
Oh,
A big
wait. I come over here, AJ, really quick, and just
yes,
say hi
AJ. We've
just say
never
hi to
met.
Keith real quick, just real quick. Yeah, AJ, this is my partner. I would just love you to all who see me all the time to finally meet my person because she's
Hi,
never
AJ.
around. So I just
I've seen photos on
yes,
Facebook
yeah.
and heard you
Good to
reference,
see
but I've
you.
never got to meet you. So what a pleasure to meet you. And
Thank you. You too. I
stay
love all of
safe and enjoy
y'all.
your journey, and keep being strong and saying no till the time is right for the next child.
Thank you so much. Thank you
I
so much.
support you in that, AJ. I
I love
support you in
you.
that.
Love you.
So
Bye, everyone.
bye, everyone. So, everybody, thank you all for being here today. I invite you, if you'd like to support our ministry, to go to our website, csl-la.org, and you can find all the various different avenues for our e-newsletter and our new thought text for the day, and contact information for all of us here and also our upcoming events. The Sunday, the 10th of September, will be our next August 10th will be our next in-person date, as well as anything you'd like to know. You can also check us out. Oh, you can go to our donate button there and donate, as well as you can use our app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living. We're on all of the social media sites, as well as on YouTube if you're joining us through that this morning. Facebook, we have a page, or Instagram, and just know we're accessible to all of that. I invite you to make plans to the best of your ability if you can next Sunday, August 10th, to join us in person at our building, our home at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038, I believe it is. Not that that matters in person. And bring a friend. We had a great turnout last time we were in person. Lots of new people. Would love for you to all come and bring your loved ones. And let's continue on this journey of supporting each other and finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. If you're joining us on Zoom, we will gather for our brief hello afterwards, after the service. And if you're on YouTube, we'll say goodbye once I take us out with a spiritual mind treatment. I invite you, once again, if it's safe for you where you are, to close your eyes and to just hear these words. I'm going to speak in the first person of I am. And as I use these words, I'm using them for each of us so that it's as if we're looking in a mirror and saying these spiritual truths to ourselves. I am that I am the divine. The energy, the only energy there is in life. It's pure. It's perfection. It's peace and it's power. So therefore, I am peace. I am power. I am beauty and I'm joy. I'm light and I'm life and I'm love and I'm wisdom. I am the presence of that which is. I'm not bound by time or space, therefore I'm not my past and I'm not my future. But I'm consciously aware that I participate in the creation of that. And so I forgive myself for any transgressions that I may have placed upon my mental being today or even in the future. Give myself that get out of guilt card right now. And I tune into the vitality of life itself and all that it is. And all that it is. I give, I receive, I live, I love, and I let it be. And so it is. Thanks for being here. I know that you give of yourself more and more and more of that which it is. And life gets better and better and better for all of us because of who you are and what you choose to be. Thank you and namaste.